Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome back to another edition of the Regional Review. My name is Enzo Amuele, the correspondent for Namibia Media Holdings in the Central North. In the beginning of the year, what we usually do is buy stationery for our learners or children, and today is World Stationery Day. Enjoy.
When you kiss me, I want never to part. Can I give you my unconditionally? Oh, 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 oh.
Viewers, welcome back from our daily ad. First up in our news, employees of B2Gold held a peaceful demonstration earlier this week to demonstrate against the 75% preservation of their pension money. According to the group spokesperson Jason Uiseb, he says they are totally against the regulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are just here to clarify why the people branch of the Mine Workers Union have decided to engage in a peaceful demonstration against the proposed regulation that came about because of the passage of the FEMA Act 2 of 2021. We wanted to put it on the record that we are not against the same act. We are not against FEMA. Because FEMA has got good things also in it, like workers being represented on the pension funds. Those are good things. So that our voice is so we are not against the act itself. But what we are against is the regulation. The regulation to say we should mandatorily preserve our funds. That's what we are against. Because you are saying that you want to keep 75% of my money, you only give me 25, and only give me the other one in installments, to say monthly payments, when I reach the age of 55. And us as workers in the mining industry, that is not tenable at all. It's not tenable at all. People are saying, oh, but then why are you guys, the NAMFISA is saying we are giving you 13 days extra. But let's look at the initial stage of the consultations. Our fund is Orion Pensions and Provident Fund. We found out that there were submissions made, but never is the fund engaged us as members to solicit our views and our opinions on the thing. Only when we wrote letters to see them, then we got the communication on the 11th of April. And it even starts with an African proverb of, if you eat an egg today, you forego a meal of chicken soup for tomorrow. Meaning that, in actual fact, you are diplomatically endorsing the preservation of my money. Because you are saying, egg is saying, if I get my money today to eat it, tomorrow I will suffer, I'll be a burden. This so-called burden that, in my opinion, is an insult to be called a burden to the state.
Well, we can definitely see the cry in the employees of B2Gold. Next up in our news, the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism held a graduation ceremony for its 36 graduates who graduated from the Law Enforcement Center at Waterberg. These graduates are to be dispatched to different stations in the country. They were trained in different various wildlife protection courses.
Center of the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism. This specific center is built to offer training to Wildlife Protection Service staff members and the new recruits. As you can see, today we have our first historic training that has been concluded here at the center. We had the intake of about 36 trainees that graduated here today, and they will be dispatched and deployed at various stations across the country. And they are part and parcel of Wildlife Protection Service within the Directorate of Parks and Wildlife. So, in fact, they have been equipped in basic training when it comes to law enforcement, when it comes to poaching, the first scene. Also, when it comes to how to handle poachers once they are arrested, and the many other disciplines that they have undergone.
You said this is the first ever.
My name is Karen Knott, and I'm one of the instructors. This group started last year in October in Amaruru, and today we've seen them graduate at Waterberg. We've had several instructors doing different modules with them, and it's been really exciting to see the progress in their individual progress, but also as a group that we have so much potential. There are some very, very good individuals with regard to anti-poaching, with regard to some of the legal procedures, the field work, the teamwork. So we've taken them through various modules in the last couple of weeks and months, and from being really new recruits with not any real concept of what they're supposed to be doing or why they're here, we've seen them progress into rangers with purpose, with discipline, and we're really looking forward to seeing what they can do in the future when they go back to their duty stations tomorrow, and we really want to see what they can do. We're going to have some of them back here in the future to continue the training, but we're confident that these 36 graduates are going to contribute to combating illegal wildlife activities in Namibia.
Well, viewers, we do hope that these new rangers definitely take care of our wildlife resources in the nature. Next up, a 15-year-old man was arrested over the weekend after he was caught with cannabis at his house in Ochiwarongo at Ombili Informal Settlement. He was caught in possession with 53 parcels of cannabis at the street value of 100,000. Dealing with news in Ochiwarongo, IPC Local Authority Councillor Fieri Kapota was suspended earlier this week after she had failed to declare her interest as part owner of Cheval Stable CC, a horse camp situated in Ochiwarongo. She is suspended from the council for contravening the council's code of conduct. Viewers, that brings us to the end of our news segment here today. Today we have a very special guest on the show, and stay tuned for our interview.
I'm Sevedias Kutep, the local authority councillor for Ochiwarongo municipality. I'm serving on the ticket of the Landless People's Movement of Namibia. I am the member of the local authority in the sense of the additional member of the management committee at Ochiwarongo Local Authority Council. I've been serving for this council for 1 year and 8 months by now, and I have picked up on certain issues that need to be addressed and can be resolved properly or amicably. I will touch based on the Sinoret, for example. Sinoret has got a controversial dividend policy currently in place, which was accepted by our Chief Executive Officer without the consent of the council, actually, because such policy, dividend policy, was never brought to the council for approval, actually, before it got accepted at the AGM of Sinoret. I have posted questions in this regard. First answers got back, then I posted follow-up questions which was supposed to be answered, I think, by 2 management committee meetings had actually passed. Well, I never got back these answers. What I want to know is what is the detail of this policy? How come that politicians will go out with Sinoret to public meetings? I will touch base on the regional councillor as well as the mayor of Ochiwarongo to, I don't know, apparently to serve as interpreters at these meetings of Sinoret actually, which is a problem because it comes down to the point whereby the general public will feel that this electricity is actually coming towards them via the resources of SWAPO. But meanwhile, these are the resources that is coming through from the monies that was paid by the residents when they went to buy electricity, for example. But the presence of SWAPO councillors at these Sinoret meetings can bring impression that the electricity is actually coming to the residents via the pocket of SWAPO and so on. I have addressed such questions and posted those questions actually to be clarified by Sinoret, but I never got back answers. Then I am also very much concerned about the Ochiwarongo Community Trust, which is actually an obligation which is supposed to come through from Chita Cement actually. But it comes down to the point whereby this trust had already been registered at the deeds office actually. Now my question is, if already Chita has recommended three people who went to register this trust, and 4 had to come, 2 from the community and 2 from the council. Now my question is who gave Chita the authority to select those 3 people? I'm more concerned that a Chinese national is also serving on this trust. What if another sponsor is coming through? For example, Ochiwarongo is now signed or is about to sign a memorandum of understanding with a city in Germany. Now, for example, if we negotiate and get some funds from that deal, for example, is this Chinese national going to run these funds for Ochiwarongo community, for example? Those are the questions I'm having. Then you go back to 2016-17 session whereby one individual went and buy a piece of land in Ochiwarongo for the amount of 1.8 million 666. This individual only pays 666. He was supposed to pay, for example, the 1.8 million, for example, in 30 days. This guy never come back in 30 days. After a year, this council approved that this person can go and subdivide this land, for example. And today we had to go in a tripartite agreement with this gentleman because he need to recoup his funds which he invested in subdivision of this land, for example. But this land was not his. How come this gentleman will get 330,000 from this deal, for example, if this land got sold now? Those are deals. Then you sit with the area where we have got the Namkor service station, for example. This area, for example, it was a council resolution that gave that this person can buy a piece of land, 2 hectares actually. Council resolution went to the minister which states that this person had to for example, get this 20 hectares, for example, while it was only 2 hectares which was resolved. Who was charged? Now if we had to recoup the 18 hectares, for example, this person also has subdivided this piece of land and he had to get 170, for example, from the residents' money. Those are the sort of illegal deeds that one has picked up in this council. But they are also positive. Those were the negatives. The positives of this council is on the on provision of land for the residents. We have got very good deals. NHE is about to finish the 40 houses in a short while. Then we have got also a Build Together who had also to finish 40 houses. Then you have got a deal whereby Extension Setting has come up with 315 urban. Those are the very positives. But I'm much more concerned about Extension 12 of Ochiwarongo. I do not know whether it was a good Triple B agreement. What happened there, I will not say, but I think that one is this is a deal which can backfire on this council. I saw wrap up, but there is more we can discuss and which we can share with the community of Otjiwarongo and throughout Namibia. I saw submit. Thank you.
Well, it is indeed important that we stay in line with the current affairs of the country as the youth. And now, viewers, we head over to our weather report.
Looking at the weather for the central north, Okahanya is sunny and delightful with plenty of sun and comfortable temperatures. Otjiwarongo is somewhat cooler with temps in the high 20s with loads of sun. Tsumeb is mostly sunny and pleasant with patchy clouds expected as from Friday. Mild temperatures are forecast for Grootfontein and Okakarara with patchy clouds expected as from Saturday.
Viewers, that brings us to the end of the regional review here today on this beautiful Thursday in Otjiwarongo. I hope to see you guys again next week Thursday. And if you have anything newsworthy in the Central North, do not hesitate to contact me at enzo@myzone.com.na.